Hello, and it is a pleasure to be presenting to you on this article that I found in Strategic Finance. The article is titled Small Business Capital Formation. And so basically, before you fall asleep, it has to do with the business world, finance, accounting, venture capital firms, what's not to like. So this is extremely relevant to the work that we do, and you will find it enjoyable. If you skip to slide number 2, the article begins by talking about the COVID-19 pandemic and its potential effects on entrepreneurship. Now, when unemployment goes up, entrepreneurship also tends to go up. People start businesses. The COVID-19 pandemic is a different recession, different economic downturn to other more traditional recessions that have happened in the past, but this is still relevant. People are still starting businesses every single day. The article goes on to talk about how small businesses are a hugely vital part of the world economy. The majority of businesses are small businesses, and they need funding to get off the ground more often than not. So where do they get that funding? Well, traditionally, it's been from venture capital firms and other accredited investors, but as we will see, that is changing. If you go to slide number 3, the article then goes on to talk about unicorns. So unicorns are companies, privately owned companies, worth more than $1 billion. These are the vast minority of companies. Now, these are the companies that are targeted by venture capital firms, absolutely. In fact, venture capital firms only have to hit a home run on a couple of companies, and it will more than make up for their investment on several other companies that don't turn as much of a profit for them, or maybe not at all. And so it's extremely difficult to get a conversation with a venture capital firm, much less to secure funding from them. So there has to be a better way. They take a large amount of equity from these companies, they take a large amount of control, and often it doesn't even end up working out, or you can't talk to them in the first place. So that's where the Jobs Act comes in. So in 2012, the Obama administration enacted the Jumpstart Our Business Startups, or Jobs Act. And this is actually some of the largest, most wide-ranging legislation regarding investors in the United States that the government has enacted since the Great Depression. So it could have had something to do with the Great Recession that the US was trying to come out of in 2012. But basically what this act does, is it allows business owners to shop their securities to accredited investors. And so people like myself, who I'm not a venture capital firm, but I can still now invest in those companies. So what this is called is equity crowdfunding. So this act legalized it. And similar to crowdsourcing, excuse me, on websites such as Kickstarter, this allows these small businesses to secure funding from the general public. So basically, it's another option for funding for these business owners. And it's an option that could be very appealing both to the business owner and the investor, because it allows all of us to kind of act like the sharks on Shark Tank. So in summary, unicorns are unicorns for a reason. Venture capital is the goal, but it's not for every company. In fact, it's not for most companies. The Jobs Act allows more Americans to invest, and it allows more startups to have a wider range of investment options while maintaining control of their company and having to give up less equity. And, you know, that's something that we want. And I'm excited to be a part of it, and I hope you are as well. So I appreciate your time, and I hope that you learned something useful.